Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Well, today is another amazing day here in paradise, and I'm really so grateful today because today's my youngest son's birthday. So what a wonderful, wonderful day it is. What a wonderful day it was 30-something years ago. I can't remember how old he is now. I don't even want to know how old he is anymore. So anyway, I know that today's talk is going to open your heart and inspire you in so many ways. And as Reverend William always says, buckle up, Buttercup, get ready.
At the Center this week, tune in Monday and join Dr. Joe in his continuing study of the Raymond Hollowell book, Working with the Law. This week, the Law of Attraction. Join Dr. Joe at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and put the Law of Attraction to work in your life. Tuesday, it's Reverend William Conway, and his show is pulling from the runaway bestseller, The One Thing. Reverend William will engage with you and uncover the powers of focus and how quickly things can turn around when you focus on the one thing. It all begins at 10 a.m. Tuesday. Wednesday at 10 a.m. is the new show, All for One. These conversations with several of our staff ministers will revolve around those topics that complete our mission statement, making a world that works for everyone and changing lives one heart at a time. Don't miss it, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You asked for it, prosperity. Dr. Laura unveils her program, 40 Days to Prosperity at 10 a.m. Thursday morning. Do you feel like something is standing between you and your abundance? Maybe kinking the flow of your good? The doctor is in the house, Thursday at 10 a.m. to open up the flow of infinite good and prosperity. If you're ready, join her at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's back, Reverend Charles Hall and Life on Love. If you haven't tuned in, you have truly been missing it. Life on Love with Reverend Charles at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This week's topic, using principles smartly, propelling your life forward and upward. Saturday is set aside for quiet reflection and meditation. Join one of our staff ministers at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time Saturday morning for a 30-minute guided meditation. Ladies, this is for you. Join Reverend Dale today, February 21st, for Spirit of Women. The feedback from the past classes by those who have attended are 5 stars. Make this a must-attend, beginning at 12:30. This is a virtual 1-hour Zoom event filled with meditation, prayer, support, and special speakers. It all begins today, Sunday the 21st at 12:30 p.m. Click the banner on the homepage for more details. Mark your calendars, but first call the office at 760-346-4649 and let Elizabeth know you want to attend. The annual congregational meeting happens March 10th at 4 p.m., led by Dr. Joe and outlining the year we just completed and what's ahead. Call the office and secure your spot today. Of course, you'll want to join Reverend Gail on Wednesday mornings for the Power of 8 and then Reverend Cheryl and Reverend William on Thursdays at 5 p.m. for Social 8s. If you are wondering if it's too late to join Reverend Charles for Beyond Limits at 6 p.m. Monday evenings, the answer is absolutely not. Click the banner on the homepage for the login details and then prepare to be stretched beyond your limits with Reverend Charles. So there's lots happening at the Center. Mark your calendar and continue growing spiritually.
In a moment, you're going to see on your screen our mission statement. Please join me in reading along and knowing this truth for our community. Our mission. We are a dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives one heart at a time. We're moving into our time of meditation, so I invite you just to relax, take a few deep, slow breaths as we relax into the music and remind ourselves of the infinite presence of God, that we are in the oneness of life.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment, here to this new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Please join me in our prayer as we come together to know the truth for and about our lives and for this service. That I recognize the one presence and power of God, of the infinite presence that is life, that is everywhere. The allness of it, the amazingness of it, the peace of it, and order of it, and harmony of it is everywhere present in this one life that is my life, that is our life. And from this place, we direct the law, knowing it, we impress upon the law the truth of the one life that is God, that it shows up in our affairs and our business and our relationships and our love. And that throughout this service, we are re-inspired and remembered of the truth of the infiniteness of God that is everywhere, in our breath, in our being, and in this one life that is God, that is my life, that is our life. For this truth, I give grateful thanks. For the law of mind taking this word and making it so, I give grateful thanks. I let this truth be so, and so it is. Amen.
Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light my way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your joy will light my way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your peace will light my way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your truth will light my way. And your love will light my way. And your joy will light my way. And your peace will light my way. And your truth will light my way. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody that they're traveling wrong, then my living, it shall not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a good man ought, if I can bring back beauty, yeah, to a world distraught, if I can spread love's message as spirit taught, then my living, it shall not be in vain. My living, Now my living, no, it shall not be in vain. I got to help somebody as I pass along. Then my living, it shall not be in vain. No, be in vain, be in vain. Sending you love from Atlanta.
So right here and right now is that moment within our service that is so special for you, so special for the center, and for everyone that touches this center by watching one of our programs. It is time for our offertory. There's a button right there for you. All you have to do is make that donation, hit that button. If that's not convenient for you, you can always call, you can always mail a check. But what we know from spiritual principle is that what we give comes back pressed down and overflowing. So in this moment, as you prepare, I want you to take a moment, and when you hit that button, send it out with love, send it out with gratitude. When you write that check, Dr. Tom always used to write TUG, thank you, God. That way, knowing that I have this abundance, I'm so grateful, because what we know is what we put out comes back. So let's just bless this offertory. Let's just take a moment to recognize that we are immersed in this universe of abundance and prosperity, and that we claim that prosperity. We are abundant right here, right now, in all ways. And we are so grateful that we can participate in this flow of giving and taking, knowing that what we send out is coming back to us. So I'm so grateful for the consciousness of each person that contributes to this center, that contributes to their own good, knowing that they are blessed. I just say thank you, and I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
Hey gang, it's so great to be with you. Every opportunity I have to share with you on a Sunday. We're moving through the course of February, and of course February we talk about love, we talk about relationships, engagement with each other. And today I want to talk with you about loving each other and what it means to love each other and some of the ways that we can practice loving each other. What we know is that the first relationship we have is the one with ourselves. So we need to first get in love right here. And if we're not, there's where the work lies, the initial work, getting in love right here. Who are you? Getting to know who you are, what you love, what you don't like, what you prefer, what you don't prefer, and begin to enjoy yourself. And then from there, and what we need right now is to be able to love each other. And when I say love, I don't mean a full-on embrace necessarily. I mean an acceptance. One of the things I've talked about before is live and let live. You're living your life. You're enjoying yourself. You have your preferences. You like to drink the coffee that you drink, or the wine, or the iced tea with sugar or without sugar. And so what if somebody else orders iced tea with sugar and you drink yours without sugar? Do you make a comment on that, or do you just sit back and celebrate the ways that we're living? That's what I want to address today, is loving each other, tending to each other, caring for each other. It doesn't need to be laborious. It simply needs to be intentional. It needs to be something that we can do for each other. Now, before I dive in too far, I've recently joined a pickleball club, which I'm over the moon about participating with. And there's a couple cool things. One is everybody has fun. We just are out there picking up games and starting to play. You know, you just play with it. Hey, who's next? Oh, I'm next. And then you just play and you chat and you have a good time. The other thing that was really cool about it is that I took my daughter a couple nights ago, and when there's an odd person out, not in a four-ball match, four-game match, whatever it's called, doubles, they would take my daughter over to another court and smack the ball around with her, my 7-year-old daughter. That's community. That's tending to each other. That's loving each other. That's caring for each other. It's looking and seeing, hey, there's someone that needs attention. How about I give it to them and have fun at the same time? So that's kind of the premise of what I want to share with you today. Let's dive into it and see where this thing heads. Ernest Holmes says, what the world needs now is spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experience. This all has to do with relationships, gang. I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have him or her repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. To hold one's thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world. And gang, are we in a rapidly changing world or what? But to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. That's where we are right now. Are we in a rapidly changing world? Absolutely. For some, it seems stagnant. Seems like we're waking up and doing the same thing over and over again. Been in lockdown, et cetera, et cetera. But it is a rapidly changing world. We're called right now to reinvent ourselves. And in doing so, we reinvent our relationships with others. And what a beautiful task and opportunity that is for each one of us. What the world needs now is spiritual conviction followed by spiritual experience. And what could be a greater spiritual experience in the human condition than to be all of ourselves in our humanity, interacting with each other from the standpoint of love, forgiveness, and neighborliness. And that's what I'm going to jump into here in a little bit. So what are we practicing? We're practicing love. And according to Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, love is the self-givingness of the Spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation, creativity. We must be creative. And that's another thing I love about the pickleball thing. You get to be creative. I mean, it's Jeff, you're behind the camera. I wish I could bring you out here. You can't. You're reacting, you're not really thinking. That's creativity. You're just doing it. It's impulse. You're not judging yourself. You're not stopping yourself. You're not saying, maybe I should leap over here and make that shot, but no, I might not make it and pull my paddle in. No, you're just going for it. And that's creativity. Love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. That's what we're practicing. What else are we practicing? Forgiveness. Again, forgiveness. Here we go. The desire to free ourselves. I just sounded like Dr. Joe there. Here we go. We hang out with each other. I don't say here we go, but here we go. The desire to free ourselves from indulgence in a mistake. This is forgiveness. The desire to free ourselves from indulgence in a mistake, which, by the way, leads to shame. Therefore, the effect of the mistake is wiped out, just as light disappears the darkness. There has never been an occurrence for which we have to suffer. All forgiveness is self-forgiveness. In other words, always be on your own team. You're the best champion. You are the only and the best champion in your life. Whether your mom loves you a lot, whether your dad loves you a lot, friends, ministers, you are your own best champion. there has never been an occurrence for which you have to suffer. This is what we're up to now as we're being loving toward each other, as we're loving each other. Forgiveness, another big one. The desire to free ourselves from indulgence in a mistake. Therefore, the effect of the mistake is wiped out just as light disappears the darkness. Is that powerful? Isn't that powerful? Dr. Laura's shaking her head right over here. It's powerful. Neighborliness. All right, what have we talked about so far? Love. We've talked about forgiveness, all under the umbrella of loving each other. We've talked about love. We've talked about forgiveness. Neighborliness. How often do we talk about this word? When was the last time you used the word neighborliness? Right? I'm going to go be neighborly to my neighbor. But look at this. The word neighborliness is a disposition to be friendly and helpful to neighbors. The principle of neighborliness obligates people to reconcile their interests with the interests of neighboring people. What does that sound like? A world that works for all. Doesn't that sound like a world that works for all? Doesn't that sound like live and let live? The principle of neighborliness obligates people to reconcile, which means to figure out, their interests with the interests of neighboring people. Do I have so much interest in my own life and the way that I live that I can't look at my neighbor, that I can't look at those that are close to me, that I live with, that I work with, and begin to entertain how they think about life? Am I so opinionated and so, dare I say, narcissistic, that I'm so interested in myself that I cannot entertain someone else's point of view? This is what we're called into. This is how we love each other. Is it really that challenging to just turn my opinion of life off for a moment? What keeps me comfortable? What does not challenge me? And think about how somebody else thinks about life. Where did their perception come from? What was their family life like? And to inquire into it, to ask questions, to be a human sleuth. Sleuth, there's another word we don't use that often. To be an investigator. What makes you tick? And can what make you tick and what makes me tick coexist in the world of ticking? Can we do that together? Now I understand sometimes in my talks, in my sermons, my sharing, I ask rhetorical questions. They're meant to get us going to think about things. Of course we can entertain each other's ideas, but we have to be willing to. We are charged, I am charged. And believe me, I get into my own, I put up my fences. No, this is the way that it is. Are you crazy? You actually like vanilla over chocolate? Have you lost your mind? Who cares? Like, why do I want to protect my viewpoint more than somebody else, as opposed to appreciating somebody else's? This is what it is to be neighborly, a disposition to be friendly and helpful to neighbors. The principle of neighborliness obligates people, you and I, because we are people, to reconcile their interests with the interest of neighboring people. To reconcile it, to accept that you prefer what you prefer and they prefer what they prefer. What is also that? It's a world that works for all, but it's also live and let live. The caveat to that is, I'm not hurting anybody else, and nobody else is hurting me, is to not harm myself or others. That's the caveat, to live and let live. I promise not to harm myself. I promise not to harm you. Here we go. We're going to keep going. I just did it again. Here we go. Now we're going to get into some worldly scriptures. The Gospel of Thomas, found in the Nag Hammadi scrolls in 1945, all right? Scriptures from back in the day, Jesus' day. If you are searching, you must stop until you find. When you find, however, you will become troubled. Your confusion will give way to wonder. In wonder, you will reign over all things. Your sovereignty will be your rest. The path of awakening will trouble your waters. But always remember, you are awakening. Search, find. Be troubled by what you find. That launches us into an opportunity to discover even more, to reconcile ourselves, to question ourselves. How did I come to this conclusion? Then your waters will be troubled. You might have a sleepless night or two. It's meant to be that way. But always we're reconciling ourselves. In wonder, which is questioning. Wow, I wonder. I wonder what? I wonder if. In wonder, you will reign over all things. The path of awakening, and this is awakening to each other, this is awakening to our neighbors. This is awakening to loving each other. The path of awakening will trouble your waters. But always remember, you are awakening. Becoming more. Waking up. More fulfilled. Exploring the beauty of life. Okay, here's how these practices supported and encouraged by the great philosophers and visionaries of all time. Love, from Hinduism and the Bhagavad Gita. Only by the unswerving love of a human heart can my supreme state be seen and known and attained. Taoism and the Tao Te Ching. As the gates of heaven open and close, can you remain steady as a mother bird who sits on her nest? As your wisdom reaches the four corners of the world, can you keep the innocence of a beginner? Humility. Know this mysterious power. It guides without forcing. It serves without seeking reward. It brings forth and sustains life, yet does not own or possess it. Forgiveness, from Rumi and Sufism. The lover is ever drunk with love. She is free. He is mad. He dances with ecstasy and delight. Caught by our own thoughts, we worry about every little thing. But once we get drunk on that love, whatever will be, will be. Neighborliness. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism. You must be firm in both, steadfast in judgment and action, kind to those who do you harm. To lose your temper with them is no less a sign of weakness than one cowed into abandoning his proper course of action. Kind to those who do you harm. Love each other. The person that does you harm knows not what they do. Jesus said that on the cross at the crucifixion. Forgive them, Father, Mother, God, for they know not what they do. That is that's the biggest, most beautiful expression of love that we can possibly have. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage, depth, and there's no word for it. It's you got to get down in there from your guts. All right, as I've shared before too, Vince Lombardi in sports. individual commitment to a group effort. This is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. An individual commitment to a team effort. And what better team do we have to participate with, engage with, and fall in love with than our fellow human beings, than our neighbors? What are we called to do today? Love powerfully. Forgive often. Be neighborly. Why? To fulfill Ernest Holmes' promise. The emancipation from all discord of every nature. And this goal is sure to be attained by all. This is what I have to share with you today. I love you. I bless you. Much peace, much love. Make today the best day ever.
Oh, I loved Reverend Charles' talk. It reminded me earlier in the month I did my Ho'oponopono class, and it was a lot about love and gratitude. And so I just to me, that is such an important thing. So I just know that this message resonated with you this week, and you will take that to heart. And there I go, banging my microphone. I apologize to anybody listening if it just pierced your ears. So anyway, I'm going to do our closing prayer for today. I want to thank you and ask you to open your heart to this prayer, to just recognize the power of prayer. So there is but one power, one divine presence. It is that life. It is that life that is your life. It is you. You are the divine manifestations of this one life, this one energy. And we claim right here and right now our good. We own it. We recognize that that love that is within us is pouring out to our neighbors, to each person that we come into contact with. And we know that the power of that love, what it brings back to us, the joy that it fills every cell of our being, that love just radiates throughout every atom, every cell in our body, everything that we do, and we are grateful. We are so grateful. And that gratitude fills us with even more love. So I know that each one listening here is that divine spark, that individual expression of that one life. And it's perfect, whole, and complete right here, right now, and always. So I am so grateful for every person that is listening, so grateful for every practitioner, every minister, each staff member here at Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert that contributes to the whole, that each one of us here listening, each one of us dedicated to being that one, to being that love. We truly are changing lives one heart at a time. So I release my word into the law, knowing the perfection is already known in that one mind. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Have a very blessed week, and we'll see you next week.